Hello, dear friends. Welcome to the show. Jack Chow on East West with G&E TV. Entering into the year, we're only about less than 1 month old in the new year. It's a good time to look around us to see what's happening, what shall be happening, what shall be expected. Lots of people call it a New Year resolution. Lots of people say, hey, do we have something better this year to happen, right? I can say now, at least on this show, I can tell you there's something good. I have a higher ranking officer here, and he is the director of the U.S. Commerce Department Foreign Trade Administration Director, Mr. Latuperissa. Latuperissa.
That's correct.
Welcome, Director, to my show.
Thank you very much, Jack. Delighted to be here. I just wanted to take a moment and say, I know it's a little bit early, but Happy New Year. I understand this is the year of the horse.
All right.
So it's wonderful, right? It's like we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah. All right.
And I'm here primarily representing the United States Department of Commerce as Director of the Inland Empire region of Southern California.
I see.
And within the Department of Commerce, there's many agencies. Of course, the one that's the most popular one is the Weather Bureau. But we're the agency which is called the International Trade Administration, U.S. and Foreign Commercial Service, where we have 160 offices, well over 75 countries. And of course, we have one of the biggest offices in China.
Yeah, all right, that's good, that's good. I must say, Mr. Director, you're so kind. I tried to prevent addressing the next year as a horror though, trying to prevent making this too much sound like a Chinese-American show. No, it's not. It's a discussion of the United States, and it's so kind of you mentioned about the coming year being the Chinese New Year, Year of the Horse.
Yes.
Yeah, Year of the Horse is always a token to go faster. If you, I'm not saying about spend your money faster. I'm saying that you try to achieve your achievement faster, right?
Yes.
So, to look into foreign trade, into international trade, though, I know that takes a big part of this country's economy. And how big that part is, please?
Well, international trade is a very important component of the total economic, both in the U.S. and in the world. A case in point, 4 or 5 years ago, President Obama challenged us in doubling the exports. Well, in the last 4 or 5 years, we had a tremendous growth. We had an 18% growth.
Oh, that's big.
Which it's very substantial, and it certainly support economic. Which means when we talk about economic, we talk about economic development, workforce development, creating jobs locally. And so our agency, the International Trade Administration, we focus on local manufacture, service industry, and expanding their markets overseas. Now keep in mind that 95% of the markets are outside the United States.
Okay.
So that's why the Department of Commerce, International Trade Administration, in particular the U.S. and Foreign Commercial Service global market, we're out there. There's about 1,400 men and women out there posted worldwide in support of manufacture, but more than that, in highlighting one of the important factors of the U.S. companies, manufacturers. I'd like to say we have one of the best companies out here from a manufacturer, from a service sector perspective.
I see.
And that's the key to driving and balancing our trade deficit that we currently have, certainly. But I think what's more important here is that our agency collaborates in partnership with both public and private sector. in finding potential distributors and buyers using our network of our 160 offices in 75 countries.
No question, it is a big department. It is a big job in terms of doing international trade. And also, I've heard lately that you are preparing for this year's International Trade Conference.
Yes. During the month of May, the President, with the Secretary of Commerce, declared it World Trade Week. And this has been ongoing for the last 50, 60 years.
Okay, all right.
So in every major cities, region of the United States, we celebrate World Trade Week. And it falls usually within the month of May. So this year, the Inland Empire region of Southern California, in particular, Riverside and San Bernardino County, and the eastern part of Los Angeles, we will be actually celebrating our 20th annual World Trade Conference.
Sure.
And you probably are asking me, what is a World Trade Conference? What is it all about?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's highlighting the importance of what I just mentioned, the tremendous contribution of the manufacturer and service sector.
I see.
In this particular case, we're highlighting the successes and educating those that want to export their product, and we encourage that. And as I said, 95% of the markets are outside the United States. Now, what's the May 8th World Trade Conference? So what we do is, in this particular case, we have identified for this year the construction industry.
Oh. Construction industry.
And why are we identifying the construction industry? Well, it's because in the last 5-10 years, it has one of the highest impact in terms of the dropping of sales, both commercial and residential, and we have a lot of the construction work out of that. So by utilizing and using some of the companies that we have that are successfully here in the U.S., we want to be able to educate them and teach them how to export that from a construction industry. Whether you're a manufacturer and making hammers, or whether you're a manufacturer of providing building supplies, or whether you're a manufacturer of providing windows. You know, these are important parts that we, instead of just focusing on the domestic market, we've asked them through our resources in expanding their markets overseas. So we'll bring in a company like East West Bank as an example, and they'll talk about the letters of credits, how to get paid. We have our sister agency like Export-Import Bank, where they would help guarantee the loans in some of the countries, working capital. And then we'll also have our some of our other organizations that, for example, UPS or FedEx or DHL. These are corporate partnership of the Department of Commerce Commercial Service. And as you know, the importance of moving goods from point A to point B. Some of the cost is 60% of the original cost of the product itself. So we will bring in experts in those particular fields. And we also will bring in media how to make a company that's one of the best kept secret and highlight them both locally, nationally, and internationally. So from that perspective, we want to make sure, because sometimes many of the small to medium-sized companies, SME companies, the president wears many hats. So this is where the U.S. government, in particular, the Department of Commerce International Trade Administration, with the 1,400 employees, which is spread out from Washington, D.C., all 50 states, worldwide, we support these efforts in finding potential distributors and finding potential buyers overseas. So we also will utilize that. What's the final objective of that May 8th World Trade Conference? Well, one, we will accomplish, hopefully, in educating them in helping them market it overseas.
All right.
2 is finding potential distributors and buyers. And that's the most important part, is the bottom line.
It sounds to me that your department is not only just giving the guidelines. You're, as a matter of fact, hands-on in helping them out step by step, and also you facilitate the whole process of doing international trade, right? So back to my audience, so let's take a very short moment out. When we come back, we'll continue finding what a great department that is. Well, so we can probably expect something better for this year. And especially in May, we have the conference, so, well, there's a lot to do in the conference. Stay with us. We'll be right back.